Hi everybody, I am back today and we're going to read the 6th book in the Erie Elementary series, and it is called Sam Battles the Machine. And we have our main characters. We have Sam, Antonio, and Lucy, and we are also looking at our story really quickly. It looks like we have 16 chapters in our table of contents. Most of these books have 15, 16 chapters, and they're short chapters. So let's get started. Then the first chapter is called Strange New Substitute. And there is a picture. "Where's Miss Grinker?" Sam Graves asked. It was Monday morning and he was walking to his 3rd grade classroom with his best friends, Antonio and Lucy. "Are you serious, Sam?" Antonio asked. "How could you forget? I've been looking forward to this." "Looking forward to what?" Sam asked. "We've had a substitute teacher all week," Lucy exclaimed. "Miss Grinker is on vacation, remember?" Sam had completely forgotten. As he took his seat, he felt this extreme happiness that only comes with a substitute teacher. Everyone knows a week with a substitute teacher is the best week. "I bet we won't have any classwork," Antonio said. Sam smiled. A week without schoolwork would be relaxing, and Sam and his friends were in serious need of a relaxing week. There's a picture. Mr. Nakobe, the man who took care of the school, had chosen Sam to be his school's hall monitor. He had told Sam the truth about Erie Elementary. It was alive. It was a living, breathing thing, a monster. And this was a secret that Mr. Nakobe had only shared with Sam, Antonio, and Lucy. Nothing about school had been relaxing since Mr. Nakobe told them the truth. "Who do you think our sub will be?" Sam asked his friends. Lucy pointed. "It looks like we're about to find out." And there is a little picture. The school principal, Mr. Winnick, appeared in the doorway. Principal Winnick was tall and sturdy. He wore thick black glasses. "Class," the principal said, "as you know, you have a substitute teacher this week. Please treat him with the same respect you would treat Miss Grinker." Mr. Wink laughed and the substitute teacher rushed into the room. The substitute moved in his short, quick spurts. He was tall, but he was so bone-thin that he almost seemed see-through. Sam thought the man looked familiar, but he wasn't sure why. The substitute teacher hurried to the whiteboard, nearly tripping over a chair. Someone giggled. Then he began writing his name on the board. Lucy nudged Sam. "What's he wearing?" "He's dressed like my great-grandpa," Antonio said, chuckling quietly. But an instant later, Lucy and Antonio stopped laughing. The teacher had finished writing and turned to face the classroom. Sam read the name on the board. It sent a cold chill down his spine. His hands began to tremble and he felt lightheaded. He was terrified. The substitute teacher's name was Mr. Erie. Here's a picture. Chapter 2, Another Erie? Sam's heart was beating like a drum. He read the name on the board over and over. Each time he hoped it would be different. But no, the substitute teacher's name was Mr. Erie. Could this guy be related to Orson Erie, Sam wondered? Orson Erie was the architect who designed Erie Elementary almost 100 years ago. He was also a mad scientist. Orson Erie found a way to live forever. He became the school. Erie Elementary was Orson Erie. Sam and his friends had battled Erie Elementary many times. A few weeks earlier, they made a bone-chilling discovery. Orson Erie was trying to come back to life as a real flesh and blood person. Sam's mind was racing. Could this guy be Orson Erie, or did he actually come back to life? Sam turned to Antonio and Lucy. He saw fear splashed across their faces. "Clap!" Mr. Erie clapped. The entire class sat up at attention. "Class," the substitute said, "please open your science books to Chapter 8, Basic Tools and Building." We can't just watch a movie today," one student asked. "Or have silent drawing time," another student asked. "Open your books," Mr. Erie repeated. Sam glanced at his friends as he opened his textbook. They needed to talk, but couldn't. Sam tried to pay attention, but that name kept running through his head. Mr. Erie, Mr. Erie. Ring! Finally, the lunch bell rang. Mr. Erie was the first to leave. He scooped up his bag and rushed out of the classroom. He nearly knocked over 2 chairs and 1 student. It's really good that all three of us have hall monitor duty, Sam said as he followed Antonio and Lucy into the hall. So we can talk about this weirdness before we're at lunch with everyone else. The three friends whispered as they walked in the halls. This new substitute looks so much like Orson Erie, Sam said. As soon as I saw him, I got the creeps. Let's not freak out yet, Lucy replied. He is probably a relative of Orson's, like his great-great-nephew or something. You're right, Sam agreed. Antonio threw up his hands. Were you guys born yesterday? He exclaimed. Our substitute teacher is a zombie. Orson Erie came back to life as a zombie. Lucy and Sam stopped in their tracks. Could Antonio be right? Sam wondered. Chapter 3, Bizarre Behavior. Zombie? Orson Erie? Really? Lucy asked. Don't be ridiculous, Antonio. Zombies aren't real. I did not think monstrous living schools were real either, Antonio shot back, but they are. Sam shook his head. Lucy's right. Our substitute teacher might be weird, but he's not a zombie. Just then, Sam spotted Mr. Erie far down the hall. Mr. Erie glanced around, like he was making sure no one was watching. Sam yanked Lucy and Antonio behind the water fountain. What are you doing? Lucy exclaimed. Look, Sam said, Mr. Erie is up to something sneaky. But when they turned to look at Mr. Erie was gone. Something was wrong. Sam felt it. He had a twist and tangled feeling in his gut. As hall monitor, Sam could sense things that other students couldn't. He could feel when something was wrong, and right now Sam had that feeling. Ring! It was the final lunch bell. Students hurried toward the lunchroom. Sam leapt up and ran down the hall. Where are you going? Lucy called out. Just cover me for lunch, Sam shouted. Antonio called after Sam, but Sam just kept running. Sam followed Mr. Erie all the way to an empty hall at the end of the school. Sam watched. The teacher seemed to be carefully examining the school. He felt the walls. He knocked on pipes. He leaned close to the lockers. His mouth moved like he was whispering. What's he doing? Sam wondered. Suddenly, at the end of the hall, crack! The music door slowly swung open. Who opened that door? It's lunchtime, Sam thought. The music room should be empty. Mr. Erie stepped through the doorway. The door slammed shut behind him. The twisted and tangled feeling in Sam's stomach grew. Something awful was about to happen. Sam raced toward the room. The next chapter will be Chapter 4, Music Room Mystery. Here is Sam racing towards the room. And there's Mr. Erie standing in the music room for our next chapter. So next time we will read Chapter 4. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Talk to you later. Bye.